Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is 9 minutes till 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, July 22nd. So, looking back at yesterday's action, uh, we just come up here and kind of, uh, had that push up in the morning, flagged, and then into the close, just kind of lost a bit. And I think it was more of, a long liquidation, right? A lot of longs up here sitting there, but obviously, you know, just no real follow through. And the ES pretty much took out the whole day going into the close, which was kind of interesting. So as we look at where we're at right now, 565 is the top of the call wall, and we made some progress over it up to 566, but that's really not enough to write home about. And I had mentioned that if you can't maintain above 565 and 630 on the spies, that you're going to get some retracements, and that's just the way it goes. So as we kind of look at where we're at right now, we're still holding on of these all-time highs, and we've keep getting a look above and then a little bit of a retracement, a look above, a little bit of retracement, and really not pushing away from this consolidation uh, on like a normal typical impulse move. So it seems like it price wise it's a little tired up here, and then but it doesn't mean you can just jump right in and short it either. uh, and then as we look at this balance area, still above 23,059, 23,060, right? Which we'd have 180 points or whatever to go to get down to that level. Uh, and that would take out the low from Friday as well. So we'll see, if that's in the cards. But if you can look in here and you can draw it, if you take out the day that's July 16th, you do have a pretty firm channel to the uptrend, right? And we could just be bouncing back and forth in that low grade channel uh, for on the NASDAQ. For the ES, it's not really as clear cut as that. So, if you really want to, you could zoom into this area and ignore the price action on July 16th and just kind of put that channel in, and then you know as long as it's holding, just go with it. When it breaks, I would stop looking for longs, and if it breaks to the upside, I would start looking for shorts as soon as it returns back into the channel as well. So what we have is from yesterday's action, right? We had that spike up and then the push. So structurally, uh, right at 23,328, that is a shift, right there. That's where all the trading took place, basically above that yesterday. You can see in the overnight session, we've tested down to it. Did not get down to yesterday's low, and yesterday's low is also just up slightly above a split in the auction. So right around 23,250, 251 is where we switch auctions. Um, so we'll see. Right now we're in yesterday's range, but below value uh, for the Nasdaq. We're right at value very low for the ES, and we've dipped below yesterday's low and everything except for the Nasdaq. So relatively speaking, the Nasdaq has that a little bit more strength. And then as we look at the bigger picture, uh, if we're going to get any downside movement, the levels that I'd watch profile wise would be 63.10 basically, and then 62.45 to 50 would be where they are at. And then for the NASDAQ, it would be that first split right around that 250 and then 115 to 23,077. You can see there's quite a bit of support that's above that 23,059, 23,060 level. That is the breakout. So it could just be, even if we are going to go back down there and retest it, it could just be a slow go. Looking at positioning, uh, for today, 565 is your gamma. That would be about 40 points higher than we're currently trading in the NQ. That would be somewhere right around 23,377 is where that would be. And then the upside for the day is only another 40 points above that, which is right at yesterday's high, right? You've got to, I would not want to chase longs above that level. And to be honest with you, I'd want to see that it can even uh, get past this 565. And then looking at the SPY has a little bit of a put wall for today at 628, and then a longer term call wall at 630. That's a 20-point ES range. Uh, so you've got to start, getting out of that uh, before you do anything. And then, the bigger areas are still, it's basically 620 to 630 is, probably a decent playing field. Uh, and that would be, a pretty decent range, more than we've had of recent. And then, if you can get above 630, I still don't think that, I wouldn't even push it past 633 to be honest with you. And a break of 628 should get you down towards the 625 or slightly above it, maybe even fairly quickly. And then looking at the Qs, 555 to 570, right, is your playing field that's probably, more adequate for the day. Longer term, this week, this cycle, right now, 540 is the low and 570 is the high. So you can see we're only $6 off of where you should expect the high, but you're $24 off of where you should expect the low. It doesn't mean that either one of these necessarily have to trade. It just means that your risk to reward, right, is not great to the upside at this moment in time. Right, so we're getting a little bit long in the tooth, unless the VIX can keep losing a bid, right, and then you can start breaking these levels. But for today, there's really no catalyst. We got a little bit of minor news at 10 o'clock, and that is it. Um, so we'll see what, where we get from there. So uh, choppy, right, between 628 and 631. And then really you've got to see if you can even get over 630. Uh, we're right in the middle of 628 to 630 right now. And then the overnight low is right at this 562.50. So if we do take out the overnight low, uh, be careful if it only goes another 20 points lower than that, because that's the bottom of this little window that just goes basically from 562 to 565. And then you'd really want to see that break, and that would break, right at that pullback low that we had yesterday as well. Uh, going into the open. Taking out yesterday's open uh, should get you down to, just right around 560. So remember, each one of these dollars is right around 40 to 41 and a half points on the NQ. And you can look at those levels right now. So 566, so 565 is here, and I haven't updated. You usually lose about 2 points a day. So you're looking at 23,419 is probably, your max for the day, and then your low for the day would probably be right around this 560, which would be probably right around 23,170 would be where I would think, the I wouldn't want to chase lows past that point, to be honest with you, unless the VIX is just screaming higher. I hope this helps you guys have a great day. We'll see what Jack's looking at next.